let's get into that main event where we got to see Chris Statlander break through. I thought that this match going into the week there was a lot of questions on how it would play out and what it was going to mean and all these different things. SPD, watching this one, because I know this feud has been kind of one of those feuds where you struggle to get into it. This was the blow-off. This was the big one. This one had all the shenanigans, the video games, the Lego blocks. It had it all.
Oof.
What did you think about this match? How did it play out? What when you leave tonight's Dynamite, this being the main event, what were your thoughts, bro?
Honestly, leading up to it, I was not excited. I was kind of over this feud, but as this played out tonight, I was ecstatic and loved the way Dynamite ended. I absolutely loved it. Miro, we can't get enough of Miro. He is an absolute beast, a wrecking crew. Even the announcers hyped him up so much. Like, who's better than him? Who's stronger than him? And it's true, man. We don't get enough of him. And unfortunately, maybe this feud has kind of held him back a little bit, but now hopefully this will just catapult him a little bit even more. But I love the way this main event came out. It was brutal. We've seen 2 hardcore main events in the past, out of the last 3 Dynamites, and they both delivered very well. And another way to just really add some outstanding momentum and fresh stuff with Trent's return, which, we predicted on Friday Night Flights and Fights, the way this kind of, Booking by Bonds did, predicted kind of this. And I didn't expect him to come back that soon. Yep. And it was great. It was a great way for him to return, Sue dropping him off. We love that part, and we got to give the people what they wanted, at the end. We had a double surprise here. And, actually triple surprise if you count Sue.
Absolutely.
Returning, if you got to go back and watch that glass push to the face of Penelope Ford. Chris Statlander fired that glass in her face, and it could have knocked her out because her face was like, boom, like so bad. And it was a brutal I don't know what was worse, the glass to the face or her, suplex through the table, which looked amazing. She looked great. Statlander looked great, and it was a great return, and I loved it. And then, of course, Trent's return. So this whole thing, giving the people what they want, this was an elite match, blow-off match. I think hopefully this will be where Miro and Kip kind of maybe go their separate ways. Maybe there'll be a little bit more turmoil for the next few weeks, and then Miro can really just go on a tear because he deserves it, man. That guy's a star. And the best friends together, better than, Orange Cassidy by himself and anything like that. So, giving the people what they want as a trio, I think is the right thing to continue forward with them. And it's good to see Trent back.
Couldn't agree with you more. I tweeted it out last week, and I tried very hard not to tweet anything negative. And I was even self-conscious. I was like, is this too mean? Is this too negative? But I was like, man, the best friends are so much better when Trent is in the picture, man. That dude is so clutch to making this team feel complete. That guy is the workhorse. Sure. He's like, to me, that's the pro wrestler. That dude is the workhorse of that group. He's that peanut butter to the peanut butter and jelly sandwich, brother. You got to have him, man, to me. So I love seeing Trent back. I believe that, like, Trent is one of – we've said it. You go back and watch old episodes. Trent's one of those guys to me, like, who's an unsung hero on a roster. When you build a roster, you got to have guys like Trent who can go, man. Yeah. That dude can go with anybody. He's got the size, the look. He's chiseled. He's funny. He's charismatic. He's got it all. And so I liked him coming back. It made the best friends feel complete again. We needed to see that as fans, like Excalibur. When you end the show saying you gave the people what you gotta give the people what they want.
Love it.
You know that's going to leave us with a smile on our face. So I really enjoy. I thought that the comebacks, the way that they brought them all back, Trent was a nice surprise with how bad his injury was and how long he was projected to be out. For him to come back and really steal the show like he did tonight was fantastic. The way coming in the minivan with his mom was an awesome way to come back to the AEW landscape. And when I look at this match, I can give it an elite confidently because yes, there were moments where I was like, okay, like I wasn't okay, you compare this against the Lights Out match, like, well, yeah, I mean the Lights Out match to me, I'm so invested in that feud. You
Yep.
and we've loved that feud every step of the way that I couldn't take my eyes off that match. Now this match, it had its moments, but I felt like overall it was a
Mhm.
match of moments. It was a match of things of those moments, like you talked about the Chris Statlander throat busting through the alien claw game and pushing the glass into Penelope's face. The air hockey drop through the table that Statlander had on Penelope. I felt like that spot on the Lego blocks where
Oh.
was something that we'll all remember. It was a creative and funny,
Mhm.
well played, a nice little throwback to the classic thumbtacks. I really liked that. Miro had moments in this one where, man, when Trent came back,
Yeah.
Miro took all three of those guys on by himself,
Yeah, that was great.
and he was winning before he got distracted and he looked psycho. But when he started going after Sue in the van, he looked a little nuts. I liked the way that Miro was presented in this match. I think that even though he lost, I think Miro came out looking like $1,000,000. So overall, this match of moments that we'll
Mhm.
remember, I thought it played out really well, and it leaves people excited for what can come going forward. Like you talked about, the feud itself, okay, there were moments when we definitely were like, all right, this is dragging a little bit. But now that it's come to an end, we're all excited about the reunion of the best friends.
Yep.
I think that we're all excited to see Chris Statlander come back. And if we have her interacting with the best friends, I'm all for that. And then we all want to know where Miro goes from here because as you talked about it, SPD, he was presented throughout by commentary as one of the strongest,
Mhm.
most dominant presences in all of professional wrestling.
Yeah.
That is
They
a
hyped him
man
up
that
crazy.
they hyped him up big time. And that's one of the things that I think that people forget that JR and brings to the table is that guy, when you let him call a match with a genuine hoss, a big fella that he likes, his level of excitement, we all have our favorites. His level of excitement goes a little higher. He just loves seeing those big
True.
fellas who are athletic and who could toss people around. That's that slobber knocker mentality in him. So it was
True.
good. It was good to hear him being able to geek out a little bit over Miro tonight. All things considered, I think that we're going to see Miro come out of this angrier than ever, more focused than ever,
Yeah.
and I'm excited to see what AEW has in store for us. Let's get into